Section 1.
You will hear a conversation between a man and a hotel receptionist inside the hotel. First, you have some time to read questions 1 to 6. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Good afternoon, Highland View Hotel reception. How may I help you today?
Hello there. I'm visiting from London and I'd like to book a room for tonight, starting today, please.
Certainly, sir. May I have your name, please?
Yes, it's James Morrison. That's Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. Morrison. And you will check in today and will be checking out the day after tomorrow?
Exactly, 2 nights.
Perfect. Let me check our availability for those dates. Yes, we do have rooms available. What type of accommodation would you prefer?
What options do you have?
We have standard single rooms at £85 per night, standard doubles at £120 per night, and our deluxe rooms with lock views at £165 per night. All prices include a full Scottish breakfast.
The deluxe room sounds lovely. I don't mind paying extra for a proper view. After all, I'm not coming to Scotland to stare at a car park, am I?
Quite right. The deluxe rooms face Loch Katrine, so you'll have a beautiful vista of the water and mountains. That would be £165 per night, so £330 total for your 2-night stay.
Excellent. Now, I'm hoping to do some outdoor activities while I'm here. Do you have information about hiking in the area?
Absolutely. We're perfectly positioned for hill walking. The most popular route is Ben Venue. It's about a 3-hour hike to the summit with spectacular views. There's also the Trossachs Trail, which is more gentle and takes you through some lovely woodland.
Sounds brilliant. What about the difficulty level? I consider myself reasonably fit, but I'm not exactly Sir Edmund Hillary, if you know what I mean.
Ben Venue is moderate to challenging. You'll definitely feel it in your legs the next day. The Trossachs Trail is much easier, suitable for most fitness levels. We also have detailed hiking maps available at reception for £3.50 each.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
Perfect. And camping. Are there facilities nearby? I might want to extend my trip and do a night under the stars.
Yes, indeed. Loch Katrine Camping Ground is just 2 miles from the hotel. They have pitches for £18 a night, and that includes access to shower facilities and a small shop. You'll need to book directly with them though. Their number is 01-877 33235. They're open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily.
Could you repeat that number, please?
Of course. It's 01-877 33235. They're open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily.
Brilliant, thank you. One more thing. How do I get there from the hotel?
It's very straightforward. Head north on the 827 for about 10 minutes, then turn left at the sign for Loch Katrine. The camping ground entrance is clearly marked. We can also arrange a taxi for about £12 if you prefer not to walk.
That's very helpful. Now, for the hotel booking, what do you need from me?
I'll need a credit or debit card to secure the reservation. We take a £50 deposit today, and you can pay the remaining £280 when you check out.
Right, I'll use my Visa card.
Perfect. I can take those details securely now, or you can provide them through our secure system if you prefer. For now, I just need to note that you'll be paying by Visa. Could I also get a contact number?
Yes, my mobile is 077-9246-8351.
Excellent. Just to confirm, that's a deluxe room with lock view for tonight and tomorrow night, checking out the day after tomorrow. Total cost £330, including breakfast, with £50 deposited today.
That's correct.
Wonderful. Are you sure to receive a confirmation email within the hour? Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Just one last thing. What time is breakfast served? I'm hoping it's not one of those continental affairs with a fat croissant and instant coffee.
Not already. We serve a proper Scottish breakfast from 7:30 to 10 a.m. Black pudding, haggis, fatty scones, the works. You certainly won't leave hungry.
Now, that's what I like to hear. Thank you very much for your help, Sarah.
You're very welcome, Mr. Morrison. We look forward to welcoming you to Highland View Hotel. Have a lovely day.
Cheers. You too. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That is the end of Section 1.
Section 2.
You will hear a park manager giving information about the park and its attractions. First, you have some time to read questions 11 to 15. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Oakwood Heritage Park. My name is Margaret Thompson, and I'm the park manager here. I'll be giving you a brief introduction to our facilities and the exciting events we have planned for this summer. First, let me orient you with our park layout. You've just entered through the main entrance at the bottom of the park. If you look at your map, you'll see we have a lovely circular walking path that takes you around our beautiful Victorian lake, which sits right in the centre of our park. Starting from the entrance and walking clockwise, the first building you'll encounter on your left is our Heritage Museum. This Victorian building houses our collection of local artefacts dating back to the 1800s. Just past the museum, you'll find our traditional tea rooms, where you can enjoy a proper English afternoon tea with homemade scones and jam. Continuing around the path, you'll reach the northern part of the park. Here you'll find our adventure playground on the right side of the path. It's particularly popular with children aged 5 to 12. The playground features traditional wooden equipment, including swings, slides, and a climbing frame. Just beyond the playground, tucked away in the northeast corner, we have our herb garden. This is a quiet spot where visitors can learn about medicinal and culinary herbs that were commonly used in Victorian times. Many of our visitors find it a peaceful place to sit and reflect. Moving further around the lake, on the eastern side, you'll come across our bandstand. This beautiful Victorian structure sits right beside the lake and hosts live music performances every Sunday afternoon during the summer months. The brass band concerts are particularly popular with our regular visitors. Continuing south, you'll find our visitor centre on your right, which is where you can purchase souvenirs, local crafts, and books about the park's history. The friendly staff there can also provide information about guided tours and special events. Finally, as you complete the circular route back toward the entrance, you'll pass our park cafe on the left side of the path. This modern facility serves light lunches, beverages, and ice cream. It's the perfect place to end your visit with a cup of tea or coffee.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
Now, let me tell you about some of the exciting activities we have planned for the coming months. Every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m, we run nature walks led by our experienced guide, Robert Harrison. These walks focus on identifying local wildlife, particularly the various bird species that nest around our lake. The walks last approximately 90 minutes and are suitable for all ages. On Thursday evenings, we host photography workshops starting at 6:30 p.m. These sessions are perfect for both beginners and more experienced photographers who want to capture the park's natural beauty. Our instructor, Sarah Williams, will teach you techniques for landscape and wildlife photography. The workshops run for 2 hours and all equipment is provided. Weekend visitors particularly enjoy our family treasure hunts, which take place every Saturday at 2 p.m. Children and adults work together to solve clues and find hidden treasures around the park. These hunts typically last about 1 hour, and prizes are awarded to all participants. One of our most popular events is the monthly storytelling sessions held in the Heritage Museum. Local author James Mitchell brings historical characters to life with engaging tales about Victorian life in our area. These sessions occur on the first Sunday of each month at 3 p.m. and are especially enjoyable for families with children aged 6 and above. For those interested in gardening, we offer practical gardening workshops every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. in our herb garden. Participants learn about organic growing methods and traditional Victorian gardening techniques. Master gardener Elizabeth Davies leads these hands-on sessions, and you can even take home some herb cuttings. During school holidays, we run special children's art classes in the visitor centre. These creative sessions allow young artists to explore different mediums while drawing inspiration from the park's natural environment. The classes are held on weekday mornings and are suitable for ages 7 to 14. I should mention that we charge a small admission fee of £4 for adults and £2 for children under 16. Senior citizens over 65 receive a discounted rate of £3. Family tickets covering 2 adults and up to 3 children are available for £10. All proceeds go directly toward maintaining the park and funding our educational programs. The park is open daily from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. during summer months and from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. during winter. We're closed only on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. Before you begin exploring, please remember to stay on the designated paths, keep dogs on leads, and dispose of litter responsibly. We want to preserve this beautiful space for future generations to enjoy. Thank you for visiting Oakwood Heritage Park today. I hope you have a wonderful time exploring our facilities. If you have any questions during your visit, please don't hesitate to ask any of our staff members. Enjoy your day.
That is the end of Section 2.
Section 3.
You will hear a conversation between 2 students discussing their dissertation on green roofs. First, you have some time to read question 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Good morning, Henry. Have you had a moment to discuss our dissertation on the cooling performance of green roofs in London's urban environment?
Morning, Alice. Yes. I've gone over the outline. You're suggesting we measure temperature reduction on green roofs across the city, right?
Exactly. Dr. Alice Bennett at University College London's Bartlett School of Architecture recommended we use the network of 30 green roofs installed since 2018 by the GLA's Green Infrastructure Fund by placing temperature sensors on both vegetated and adjacent conventional roofs. We can quantify the difference.
I see. According to the UCL study published in Urban Climate in June 2022 by Carter et al., average mid-afternoon temperatures on green roofs were 17 degrees Celsius lower than on bare roofs during July and August, and pedestrian-level air temperatures dropped by up to 2 degrees Celsius within a 10-meter radius of the building facade.
They used hobo nature loggers, recording at 10-minute intervals. We should replicate their methodology for consistency. I've already ordered 12 hobo sensors from the university's equipment pool. 4 will go on roofs in Camden, 4 in Hackney, and 4 in Southwark.
That's a good distribution. We'll also need to record humidity and solar radiation. The University of Manchester's School of Earth and Environmental Sciences has a weather station at their first farm site, which we could access for comparative meteorological data.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
I spoke to Dr. Matthew Hughes there. He has agreed to share the hourly readings for July and August 2025. That will let us correlate roof surface temperatures with broader local conditions.
I see. According to Carter's paper, also reported that green roofs hosted an average of 12 higher plant species per square metre and increased pollinator visit by 35% based on Manchester's own trials.
To keep our focus manageable, I suggest we note biodiversity observations but not conduct a full ecological survey. We can record visible plant cover percentage at each site using a simple 0 to 100% scale via overhead photographs, rather than counting individual species.
Agreed. Overhead drone imagery might be overcomplicating things, and our ethics approval could get delayed. Instead, we can use a handheld nadir camera mounted at 2 meters above the roof surface and apply image analysis scripts provided by the Cambridge Machine Vision Group, though only for cover percentage, not detailed species identification.
That keeps the project straightforward. For our literature review, I've gathered 5 key references. Carter et al. 2022 on temperature effects, a 2021 University of Sheffield thesis on goon roof vegetation cover, a 2023 Newcastle University report comparing substrate depths, an Environment Agency briefing on stormwater attenuation, and a 2024 Bartlett School study modelling long-term maintenance costs.
That's comprehensive. In terms of methodology, here's what I propose. First, secure access permissions from each building owner by mid-June. Second, install sensors by 1st of July. Third, collect data until 31st of August. Fourth, download and clean data in September. And finally, perform statistical analysis in October.
That timeline aligns well with the Bartlett School's dissertation deadlines. The full draft must be submitted by 15th December, so we'll need preliminary results by early November to have time for rewriting.
On statistical analysis, the Sheffield thesis used paired t-tests to assess mean temperature differences between green and conventional roofs. We could also calculate the 95% confidence intervals for each site to demonstrate reliability.
Yes, and perhaps add a simple linear regression to explore the relationship between substrate depth, ranging from 80 to 120 millimeters across our sites, and measured temperature reduction. Newcastle University found that each additional 10 millimeters of substrate depth corresponded to an extra 0.5 degrees Celsius of cooling on average.
That regression could be insightful. We'll need accurate measurements of substrate depths at each location. I can bring a digital depth gauge to record that when we install sensors.
Perfect. Before we begin fieldwork, though, we must apply for ethical approval through UCL's Central Research Ethics Committee. Even though our project involves no human participants, the committee still requires a brief application detailing potential risks to personnel working at height and on mitigation plan.
I'll draft the safety protocol section, referencing the Health and Safety Executive's guidelines on working at roof level. We'll include securing sensors with stainless steel fixings and using harnesses where necessary.
Good idea. I'll complete the forms for data management. We must demonstrate compliance with UK Data Protection Act when handling the weather station data and any building owner information.
Once ethics approval is granted, hopefully by early July, we can proceed. In parallel, I'll prepare our data analysis script using R.4.2.1, focusing on the paired comparisons and regression. We can store everything in the Git repository on UCL's GitLab instance.
That ensures version control. Let's also plan to present a mid-project report at the Bartlett School's Research Symposium in November. It will give us valuable feedback and perhaps catch any methodological flaws early.
Agreed. I'll reserve a 10-minute slot. Finally, after drafting our dissertation, we might submit a shortened paper to the Journal of Green Building in spring 2026, following the sample structure from their author guidelines.
That's an excellent long-term target. So, to summarise, permissions and ethics by mid-June, sensor installation by 1st of July, data collection through August, cleaning and analysis in September-October, mid-project presentation in November, dissertation draft by mid-December.
Exactly. I'll circulate this timeline and our divisional tasks later today. Thanks, Alice. Looking forward to collecting some cool data.
Thanks, Henry. I'll get the equipment bookings confirmed and show the ethics draft by Monday evening. Have a good...
That is the end of Section 3.
Section 4.
You will hear a lecture on the environmental impact of recycling. First, you have some time to read questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Today we'll explore the environmental impact of recycling in the United Kingdom, examining its benefits, challenges and opportunities. Recycling conserves resources and reduces greenhouse gas emissions by avoiding energy-intensive production from virgin materials. For example, recovering 1 ton of aluminium saves up to 95% of the energy needed to refine bauxite, while recycling paper cuts energy use by roughly 60% compared with fresh pulp production. These energy savings directly reduce carbon dioxide emissions, helping the UK work towards its legally binding net zero emissions target for 2050. Government data show that household recycling reached 46.2% in 2023, up from 44.8% in 2021, but still below the 50% target for 2025. Regional performance varies widely. Wales leads with 56.1%, England records 42.5%, and Scotland and Northern Ireland fall in between. Such differences reflect local authority collection practices, public awareness campaigns, and the availability of recycling facilities. Since 2020, many English councils have introduced weekly separate collections for paper and cardboard, plastics, glass, and metal, replacing less frequent mixed collections. This system reduces contamination. Anything above 10% can spoil an entire load, forcing it to landfill or incineration without energy recovery. High-quality single-stream collections of mixed glass bottles and jars go to facilities in St Helens or Swadlincote, where they are sorted and melted without degradation. Glass bottles enjoy virtually infinite recyclability, though broken ceramics and Pyrex must be kept apart to prevent contamination. Paper and cardboard enjoy one of the UK's highest recycling rates, at 79%. Mills such as D.S. Smith in Hull and St Regius in Kent accept mixed grades and turn them back into packaging and newsprint. However, coated cartons and coffee cups remain a challenge because separating fibres from plastic or foil linings requires specialised de-inking processes that not all councils can provide. Plastic packaging achieved a 44% recycling rate in 2023. PET bottles are generally collected and reprocessed effectively, but the recovery of mixed film, trays, pots and tubs relies on near-infrared sorting to distinguish resin types. Even so, Around 30% of collected plastics are rejected due to contamination or lack of domestic reprocessing capacity and are exported under the Basel Convention, raising concerns about the carbon footprint of transport and the conditions of overseas recycling plants. Metal packaging, including steel tins and aluminium drink cans, reached a 73% recycling rate. In South Wales, the Novalis plant remelts aluminium cans into new drink containers, creating a closed-loop system. A national deposit return scheme, proposed for introduction in 2027, with a 10p refund for returned bottles and cans, is expected to boost recovery rates even further. Beyond household recycling, the commercial and industrial sectors contribute significantly. WRAP, the Waste and Resources Action Programme, based in Banbury, works with retailers and manufacturers to design recyclable packaging and reduce food waste through its Courtauld commitment, which cut food waste in retail and manufacturing by 12% between 2015 and 2022. Its Recycle Now campaign provides guidance on correct bin use and encourages public participation. Recycling, however, is not impact-free. Paper pulping consumes around 50 tons of water per ton of paper and produces effluent requiring treatment, while glass furnaces can emit nitrogen oxides and sulfur oxides if flue gases are not properly scrubbed. Energy and water use in recycling processes must be weighed against the environmental benefits. The net gain varies by material and technology. The UK follows a waste hierarchy that prioritises prevention and reuse. Refillable glass milk bottles, reused up to 20 times, avoid recycling altogether. Extending the life of clothing through repair and resale tackles a textile waste stream that contributes some 350,000 tonnes of UK garments annually, more effectively than recycling alone. Advanced recycling technologies are emerging. Plastic Energy in Seaham operates pyrolysis plants that convert mixed plastic waste into oil-like feedstocks for new plastics. While promising, chemical recycling requires high energy inputs and remains at pilot or early commercial scale. Its environmental credentials must be measured against mechanical recycling and incineration with energy recovery. Consumer behaviour remains critical. A YouGov survey for RAWP in 2023 found that although 82% of UK adults report they usually recycle, only 64% correctly identify which items belong in which bin. Multi-layer packaging, such as yogurt pots and coffee cups, often causes confusion. Standardising bin colours and improving on-pack recycling labels across all UK nations can help reduce mistakes. Finally, recycling supports the UK economy by providing over 330,000 jobs and contributing more than £15 billion in gross value added. Material recovery facilities and reprocessing plants employ engineers, environmental managers, and logistics specialists. As the country shifts toward a circular economy, careers in design for recyclability and innovative waste-to-resource solutions will continue to grow. Recycling delivers significant energy savings, carbon reductions, and resource conservation, yet it must be complemented by reduction, reuse, and improved collection and processing. By combining clear policy, investment in technology, and informed public engagement, the UK can strengthen its circular economy, reduce its environmental footprint, and protect natural resources for generations to come.
That is the end of the IELTS listening test.